July meeting of the Area Planning Commission will come to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Ryan Baker. Tammy Bullen.
Present.
James Chrisman. John Collette. Jim Crawley. Jeff Ford. Norm Froderman.
Here.
Don Folk.
Here.
John Hanley.
Here.
Marcus Maurer.
Here.
Debbie May. William Verdine. Mike Morris.
Here.
Fred Wilson.
Here. Okay, we do have a quorum. I'd like to ask everybody to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I think everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes and status report. Are there any corrections or any concerns? Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Executive Director's report.
Good evening. You have one handout there in front of you. It is some information in regards to Payne Place subdivision. I'll touch on that once we get there. Next month, we will have a special edition of the Director's Report in place of your standard one. We have sent off to the printers our packet that we put together from our training seminars that we went to. So that is something that you'll see next month. We'll just submit it like a regular Director's Report. Doesn't need any special attention. Please feel free to read it at your leisure or ignore it. Either way, your choice. Either way, it is really a great opportunity for us. Has given us lots of good ideas, all things that we are rolling out into new and exciting types of public outreach programs for our office, things that we have not done in the past or tried in the past. And I think it will be a very positive thing for the community going forward.
Okay. Sydney, you have anything to add?
No, part of that is we are having an information session class for realtors through the Deer Association of Realtors. Last I heard, we have approximately 100 people attending. So it should be a good information session. Look forward to hosting that class.
Location yet?
Huh?
Location yet?
We don't have a location yet. We're waiting for them to tell us.
Okay. Any questions for Sydney or? Have a motion?
Motion for approval.
Second.
In favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, are there any public comments that anyone knows about? Okay, then the first item is docket number 42, Special Ordinance 15, 2022, 501 South 25th Street, Terre Haute, from an R2 to an C2 Community Commerce District.
Mr. Shagley is going to ask to withdraw.
Steal his thunder.
I did, sorry.
Ruined my surprise there. Richard Shagley with the Wright, Shagley & Lyer. I'm here tonight on behalf of the petitioners, and as previously stated by the area plan staff, the petitioner is requesting this be withdrawn.
Okay.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item is docket number 44, Special Ordinance 16, 2022, 2927, 2933, and 2955 Erie Canal Road, Terre Haute, Indiana, from a C6 to a C5 General Central Business District.
The property owner is Elbrum Properties Incorporated. Proposed use is retail, church, and school. Proposed zoning is C5 General Central Business District, currently zoned C6 Strip Business District. The property is located on the corner of Erie Canal Road and East Margaret Drive. It has R1 and C2 to the north, R1 to the east, R1 and C2 to the south, and R1, C6, and C1 to the west. The petitioners are requesting to rezone the properties from C6 Strip Business to C5 General Central Business District to allow for retail, church, and school. The building is currently used as retail and business offices. Parking is sufficient. There is additional parking located at 2963 South 13th and a half Street behind the building. A special use for off-site parking was obtained by the Board of Zoning Appeals in 2012. Churches are not a use by right in the C5 district. The petitioners will need to request a special use for the church to the Board of Zoning Appeals. They were supposed to be heard this morning, but we didn't have a quorum, so it will be heard in August. A portion of the alley remains to the west of the property at 2927 East Erie Canal Road. It may need to be vacated if the building is expanded. City engineering does state that the proposed use would likely increase traffic after church services, but the property has access to Erie Canal, Margaret and 13th and a half, which allows traffic to be dispersed more equally. Staff offers a favorable recommendation with the following conditions: approval of special use for a church by the BZA.
Okay, Mr. Shagley.
Good evening, Mr. President, fellow members of the commission. My name is Richard Shagley. I'm with the law firm Wright, Shagley and Lowry. Tonight, I'm here on behalf of the petitioner, Elk Run Properties Incorporated. As stated, I'm here tonight to request the rezoning of property at Erie and Canal Road. That is the strip mall that used to be Statler's Tax Service, has the elk at the corner. I believe that's where the Elk Run properties came from. It's currently zoned C6. The petitioner is asking for it to be rezoned C5 for the potential use as the retail, a church, and a private school. And as a result, I'm here tonight asking for that to be done. One of the things mentioned in the staff report, besides a favorable recommendation, was a discussion of the traffic. It's really kind of a great scenario because when the church is in, the retail is not, nor is the school. And when the school's in, the church is not. So petitioner believes that although there will be an increase in traffic, that the area will be able to handle that increase in traffic. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Shagley? Is there anyone speaking in opposition to this petition? Have a motion? Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item is docket number 43, UZO 11, 2022, 3901 South US Highway 41, Terre Haute, Indiana, from an OS to a C3 regional commercial district.
The property owner is Wabash Valley Fair Association Incorporated, represented by Mr. Shagley. The proposed use is a Culvers. It is currently zoned OS Open Space District. The proposed zoning is C3 Regional Commercial District. The site is located on the west side of South US Highway 41, approximately 174 feet south of East 40th Drive, south end of the fairgrounds property. This area is recognized as regional commercial. Guidance echoes the same. The area is well served with public utilities. Surrounding uses are to the north, open space and C3. C3 also occupies area to the south as well as a planned unit development. West is open space and M2, east C6 and C4. The petitioner is attempting to rezone a portion of the Wabash Valley Fairgrounds for commercial use. South US Highway 41 is a commercial corridor consisting of a mix of heavily trafficked commercial sites. Some concerns as to safety have arisen after the development that mirrors this type at the location just to the north. More specifically, traffic wishing to head north from this development has no convenient means of doing so. The most frequent means of doing so will require motor vehicles to cross all lanes of southbound traffic and make a U-turn at the nearest location approximately 125 feet to the south. Traffic in this location should not be allowed to access the fairgrounds as roads are inadequate to handle the traffic. Staff would request that the Area Plan Commission place restrictions on access to the fairgrounds as a condition of approval, until which time a frontage road or other means of substantial improvements are made to the fairground infrastructure. The property is in a FEMA-identified special flood hazard area. Any construction or development as defined in the flood hazard ordinance must be permitted and meet all regulations set forth in the flood hazard ordinance for Vigo County. We do offer a favorable recommendation on the request with approval of a landscape and buffer plan, approval of the major subdivision, which it received last month, and it must meet or exceed all FEMA standards for new construction in a special flood hazard area. And during the discussion as a part of the subdivision last month, there was some comment as to some mitigation or some proposed plans for the fairgrounds, perhaps with the traffic. I don't recall what all was said, but I think that does help to assuage some of those concerns as listed in the staff report for the traffic.
Sydney, do we know where we stand on getting whatever it is out of the flood district?
This will most likely not be included. Anything on the other side of 41, they're only doing a portion of it, because more levee work would have to be done on the other side of 41. As far as that goes, I know that it was submitted to FEMA in the last month or two. First comments are expected in July. So it's gonna be basically a back and forth with FEMA. You need to do this and this to fix it, and they have 18 to 24 months to decide.
They have 24 months to decide, so we're a ways out.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Shagley.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow members of the commission. My name is Richard Shaglin with the law firm of Wright, Shaglin and Lowry. Tonight I'm here on behalf of the Wabash Valley Fair Association. As the petitioner, we're here to rezone a small piece, the southern corner of the frontage of the fairgrounds area. Think of the other restaurant, same thing, but on the other side. And currently this property is zoned OS, and we're here tonight asking for it to be zoned C3. The petitioner and the potential leasee of this property is aware of these stipulations. They're working with different groups to alleviate those. They're well aware of the traffic issue, and it's my understanding, so is the Fair Board's working with NDOT and some of their recommendations. But tonight, we're simply here asking for this property to be rezoned to C3 to allow for a future Culver's to occupy this location. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Shagley? Anyone speaking in opposition to this petition? Can I have a motion, please?
I'd move for a favorable recommendation.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item is docket number 47, Special Ordinance 18, 2022, 30 South 12th Street and 1211 Wabash Avenue, Terre Haute, Indiana, from a C2 to a C5 plan development.
The owner is Terre Haute Department of Redevelopment, represented by Mr. Lynn. Proposed use is a co-live residential development with 111 studio living quarters. Proposed zoning is C5 Plan Development, General Central District Plan Development. Current zoning is C2 Community Commerce District. The property is located on the corner of Wabash Avenue and South 12th Street. It is identified as a reuse and redevelopment area. The plan developments are uses that may be permitted under certain circumstances that are not permitted use in a zone district where said plan development is proposed. A plan development is a floating zone. Before a plan development can be considered, the petitioner must show proof of the following unique circumstances: that the petitioner has a hardship due to the physical characteristics of the land, a hardship due to the improvements on the land, a hardship due to adjacent scattered incompatible uses, a hardship due to the general deterioration of the neighborhood, or a parcel located near a district boundary line. When it is determined by the Area Plan Commission and the City Council that a hardship does exist, a plan development of certain uses may be approved for any zone lot. However, it must be determined that said proposed uses, if approval, will be in the public's interest and that substantial justice will be done for that neighborhood. Approval of said proposed uses shall not have the intent of nullifying the purpose of these zoning regulations. And to the north is C2 and another C2 special use. To the east is C2, to the south R3 and C2, to the west is C2 as well. Sorry, I skipped that over. The petitioners are requesting to rezone to C5 plan development for a 3-story, 47,500 square feet co-live residential development with 111 studio living quarters of 300 square feet or more. Each unit will have a full bathroom and kitchenette, but no kitchen. Each floor will have a shared kitchen and living space. The city engineering has stated that the proposed units could present a parking space deficit depending on their utilization. If they are utilized as efficiency units, the proposed parking is adequate. If they are utilized as non-efficiency single-bedroom units, there will be 29 space deficit. That deficit could cause all of the on-street parking on 12th Street to be utilized on a daily basis. As part of the plan development, the petitioners are requesting setbacks of 0 feet to the north off of Wabash Avenue, 0 feet to the west off of 12th Street, and 5 feet to the east. The proposed setbacks are consistent with the building that currently exists on the property as well as the surrounding buildings. The site plan shows sufficient based on what they show. The area is identified as a reuse and redevelopment area in the comprehensive plan. Commercial zoning would be consistent with the area and would not impose a buffering requirement that a residential zoning would create. The zoning also fits the density requirements set forth in the district index for zoning maps and allows for apartment units of at least 288 square feet per unit. Staff offers a favorable recommendation with the following conditions. Must be reported in 90 days. A hardship must be demonstrated. It must be determined that if approved, the plan development will be in the public's interest and that substantial justice will be done for the neighborhood, and a site plan approval by city engineering.
Mr. Lynn.
Jeff Lind, Lind Law Firm, here for the developer, Wabash Avenue Partners, LLC. And Rob Toll is here on behalf of Wabash Avenue Partners. If you have any questions that I can't answer. They will be studio apartments with kitchenettes. And we're, again, asking C2 to C5 plan development. And although there are zero setback lines, Marcus, the corner at 12th and Wabash will be clear glass, so there'll be a line of sight for traffic at that corner. The hardship is most easily demonstrated by the building on the property, the former Terre Haute Police Department. If any of you have been in or toured that building, it's in bad shape. The neighborhood itself is a bit on the upswing, but there are plenty of open storefronts, even on that block. And it's my hope that the target audience of young professionals and students will be a ready market customers to serve that neighborhood. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And again, Rob's here.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Lane? Anyone speaking in opposition to this petition? Yes, sir.
The units will hover around 300 square feet, and again, they're studios. So I lived in a studio when I was in law school. That's a one-person thing.
Yeah. Brian, does that do for you? Okay. Are you satisfied with parking?
It's requested as a part of the plan unit development. I mean, they're requesting the reduction.
It has all of the parking behind the police station.
My mistake. No
That's,
reduction.
So you have parking behind the police station?
yes, it's all, the lot runs from Wabash to the residential facility on Walnut, I believe that is.
Yeah.
Or Ohio. Yeah.
You indicated that the site plan showed enough parking, and the
Yeah,
site
they
plan
have
in our packets.
116 parking spaces currently on their
Yeah, the
site.
site plan in our packets is
Yeah.
not for this.
No, I apologize. I put the wrong section in there.
But if you look, if you
We're all
look
looking
the
at it, and it
actual-
does.
If you
Yeah,
look
we
at the
just don't
actual
have it.
site plan,
Yeah.
it shows that they have 116 parking spaces, which for the efficiency,
Right,
it's adequate.
yeah. We're all looking at Liberty Village
Yeah.
site plan.
Okay. Okay, anyone else want to speak to this issue? If not, do I have a motion?
I'd move for a favorable recommendation.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is under subdivisions minor, docket number 46, file 16/2022, Burton two-lot subdivision.
Property has frontage along East Old Fort Harrison Avenue, commonly associated with 5207 East Old Fort Harrison Avenue. 2 lots. The surveyor is Mr. Keller. The applicant is requesting to subdivide 5 acres to separate the existing residential dwelling from the surrounding acreage. The health department is still pending. Public sewer is not available. Septic system must be utilized. Public water is available. A 12-inch main fronts the property. It's not in the flood zone. The lot exceeds the minimum lot size requirement. East Old Fort Harrison is considered a primary collector level roadway. It's well constructed and can handle the additional traffic. Stormwater drainage, of course, is not required with minor subdivisions. This type of subdivision is common request for this commission. Like many others, there are no significant consequences that could arise as a result of the petitioner's request. The addition of 1 new home would not prove a burden on local infrastructure. Approval of the plat is contingent upon the plat being recorded in 90 days. A road width right-of-way of 70 feet is proposed, platted is 75. We offer a favorable recommendation with the health department approval and
apologies. Is petitioner present? Anybody, is there anything you have to add or any questions you have? Any questions from the planning commission?
As the condition of approval, is that the question? The
Just
conditions of
needs to be
approval-
recorded, I think is what she's talking.
It needs to be recorded within 90 days. You'll need health department approval and a road cut permit if necessary.
Okay, anyone speaking in opposition? A motion, please.
Motion approval.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item, docket number 49, file 18, 2022, Moore Farm 2.
The property has frontage along North Randall Street, commonly associated with 4255 North Randall Street. 4 lots. Surveyor is Mr. Tolles. The applicant is requesting to subdivide the 67.22 acres into 4 lots for agricultural and residential uses. Health department is pending. Public sewer is not available. Septic systems must be utilized. Public water is not available. It is not in a flood zone. The lots do exceed the minimum lot size requirement. North Randall Street is considered a local level roadway. The subdivision creates 2 lots within the larger Lot 1. Both lots 2 and 3 are said to be for residential development. A home exists on Lot 2. Also created is an 18-acre Lot 4. An overhead electrical transmission line spans Lot 1. The subdivision is subject to a high-voltage transmission easement. Duke Energy must review and approve uses in and around their easements. A private drive extends through lots 1 and 2 and is used by Lot 3. The petitioner must demonstrate to the reasonable satisfaction of the Plan Commission that the private roads will be properly maintained. Further, the seller shall furnish the initial purchaser of the newly created lot served by a private road with a disclosure statement outlining the maintenance responsibilities for the road. Staff would like to request that the agreement be filed with our office prior to recording. Approval of plat is of course contingent upon it being recorded within 90 days. So we offer a favorable recommendation with a road cut permit where needed to serve Lot 4, copy of the private road disclosure to be filed with our office, approval by Duke Energy for any use within their easements, and health department approval.
Okay, petitioner present. Is there anything you'd like to add or any questions you have? Any questions from the planning commission? Anyone speaking in opposition? Have a motion, please.
Motion approved. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item is docket number 51, file 20, 2022, Payne Place Corner.
The property has frontage along West State Road 246 at the corner of Payne Place and West State Road 246. One new lot of 1.25 acres. The surveyor is Mr. Campbell. The applicant is requesting to subdivide 1.25 acres to separate the existing residential dwelling from the surrounding acreage. A variance has been requested. Health department is still pending. The handout packet you have in front of you there goes along with the health department, who initially disapproved because the information that they have indicates that the septic system for the property was illegally installed without permits or inspections approximately 15 years ago. There's been some updates between purchasers and the health department, all included here. None of it constitutes approval from the health department, but I believe all of the information that will be submitted to the health department will eventually affect an approval. So I'm comfortable with saying that the health department is still pending, but will most likely be approved once they receive all of the updated information there closed in your packet. Public sewer is not available, septic system must be utilized. Public water is available, it's not in the flood zone. Lot exceeds the minimum lot size requirement. West State Road 246 is a rural arterial roadway. Payne Place is considered a local level roadway. And of course, stormwater drainage will not be required with a minor subdivision. As a part of the plat, the petitioner has requested a variance from section 610310H1 building line setbacks. More specifically, the request is to allow for a reduction of 10 feet from the 25-foot required front setbacks. A hardship outside of financial reasonings does exist. The home was constructed in 1930, and the strict enforcement of the ordinance would mean relocation or demolition of the home as constructed. Therefore, staff does offer a favorable recommendation on the variance request. Staff has no other issues with the plat. Approval is, of course, contingent upon it being recorded in 90 days. And we would offer a favorable recommendation with a road cut permit if needed, health department approval, and approval of the requested variance.
Okay, I'm really familiar with this property. He owns like 40 acres or more in there. And anything that the health department would need, he can accommodate that. He had reached out to me and said, hey, just to make it clear, we'll do whatever it takes. You know, he just wants the new buyer to do the septic system, so. Okay, so, any questions from the planning commission? Anyone speaking in opposition of this petition? If not, I need a motion.
Motion approval. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item is docket number 43, file 17, 2022, Heritage Landing subdivision.
This also has an accompanying rezoning. Would you like them heard concurrently?
I'm sorry?
This also has an accompanying rezoning. Would you like them heard concurrently?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Subdivision first, the location is bracketed by Locust Street on the north, 25th on the west, and Elm Street on the south. 3.22 acres, one lot. Surveyors, Mr. Tolles. Request is to subdivide the acreage for multifamily development. Health Department has approved, sanitary sewer is available. Public water is available. It's not in the flood zone. The lot exceeds the minimum lot size requirement, and there will be no new proposed public streets. The area is well served with other utilities. The stormwater drainage will be required with the major subdivision. The property is currently zoned heavy industrial. A rezoning will be needed. Public utilities are available and must be utilized. Elm Street is considered a local street. This addition will place a potential third multifamily housing development to be served by this street. Improvements may be needed to accommodate the additional traffic. Alternatively, access via Locust could be required. Locust is, of course, much larger and better constructed road. City engineering will need to approve of the location of ingress, egress, as well as any street improvements needed to accommodate the additional traffic. We offer a favorable on the primary and secondary with the following conditions: drainage and erosion control plan approval, bonding of 110% infrastructure if needed, fire department approval, and city engineering approval for traffic flow and curb cut locations.
Rezoning, petitioner is the City of Terre Haute Department of Redevelopment, represented by Mr. Lind. Proposed use is affordable senior living. Proposed zoning is R3 General Residence District. Current zoning is M2 Heavy Industry District. The property is located on the corner of North 25th Street, Locust Street, and Elm Street. Its common address has not yet been assigned. To the north is M2, to the east R1, M2, and R3. R1 is to the south and west. The petitioner is requesting to rezone the property from M2 to R3 for affordable senior living. A subdivision is accompanying the rezoning. The site plan proposes a 4-story building with 24 one-bedroom and 42 bedroom units. The site is in close proximity to other housing complexes, including Liberty Village and a vacant lot intended for use as a second phase to Liberty Village. The site plan appears to meet all setback and parking requirements, but final approval will need to be given by city engineering. Both 1 and 2 bedroom units exceed the minimum square footage per unit. City engineering has stated that they would prefer traffic pulled directly onto a major thoroughfare such as 25th or Locust, but that would be part of the approval. Staff offers a favorable recommendation of the following conditions: site plan approval by city engineering and approval of the subdivision.
Mr. Lind?
Jeff Lind, Lind Law Firm, here for Heritage Landing, Limited Partnership, the developer. Tim Morgan from Heritage Landing is here. Any questions with regard to the subdivision? I would have you ask that gentleman right back here, Mr. Boris. This property is, was reported currently owned by the city. It's not on the tax rolls, and it's contaminated. My client would like to buy it, clean it up, and invest over $12.5 million in a senior living facility. There's plenty of parking. It was my belief, as I saw site plans work going back and forth, that my client had been working closely with city engineering with respect to the location of entrances and the distance, anyway, from the intersection of 25th Street. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I do know they've worked well with They were in contact with city engineering, I thought, quite a bit. It's my belief they'd continue to do so if that were necessary.
Okay, any questions from the planning commission for any of the parties involved? Okay, anyone speaking in opposition of this petition? Nominate a motion.
I'd move for a favorable recommendation on the rezoning and approval of the subdivision.
No second. Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jim.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is docket number 50, file 19, 2022, Idle Creek Villas replat. Lots 406R, lot 407R, lot 451, V8B, V9, and V10A, and that's quite a way to identify it.
Yes, the subdivision does have three different locations. Northeast of the intersection of Caroline, Grace, and Jenna Way, along the eastern extent of Nora Way, and on the east side of Harrison Denham Way. The surveyor is Mr. Keller. The request is to replat lots V8B, V9, V10A to correct for construction across lot lines. Lot 451 is being split to separate the duplex into two lots. 406R and 407R are being adjusted to match the split for the duplex. Health Department is approved, sewer is available. Any roads built must be built to county road standards. Approval from county engineer must be obtained for acceptance of the roadways. The proposed development does fall within the noise contour surrounding Terre Haute Regional Airport. Holman Field is defined in the FAR Part 150 Noise Compatibility Plan. Specifically, the property falls within the N2, N3 contours. Accordingly, sound insulation techniques may be required to achieve an outside to inside noise level reduction of 25 decibels. If sufficient sound insulation is met, the airport does not object. Public water is proposed. Any water main extension plans must be submitted and approved by INAW. It's not in a flood zone. The lots exceed the minimum lot size requirement, and all other utilities are available. The application indicates that the roads will be dedicated. Evidence of infrastructure improvements is apparent, and construction is ongoing. Without the condo association, the minimum side setbacks would not be met. The condo association alleviates the need for the side setbacks between units. Approval of the plat is contingent upon it being recorded within 90 days. We offer favorable on the primary and secondary.
District representatives, here's anything you want to add? Any questions from planning commission? Anyone speaking in opposition? Have a motion, please.
Make a motion to pass.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.